Welcome to another NUCIDA training session to get more familiar with AskUI Studio. Give us a thumbs up if you like this content and want to see more videos on this topic. In terms of any questions, please leave a comment. We will answer these. Now we want to see how our AskUI Studio No-Code tool works. Now you're here in a quick start guide, and the AskUI Studio No-Code tool can be found under Workflows and on the reports. So, let's go first into Workflows. There's nothing to see here. And when we're talking about the AskUI Studio No-Code tool, we are always implementing workflows. If you want to automate something with AskUI, it's called a workflow. And in the workflows, there are a lot of steps you want to take in the user interface. If you want to fill out a form, for example, you have a step where you type in your username like we saw in the login here, and then you type in the password, and then we want to click a button login, for example, and that's what we can do here. If you go to workflows, you can create a workflow here. Since AskUI is based on Node.js, we offer TypeScript for coding any automations beside of our no-code approach. I would like to name this workshop TS. TS follow lowercase convention here, and then you will get to this page, and let's move this around here. So now you may think, what do I see here? You can see Azure in action here. Because what Azure does is take a screenshot of your operating system, basically a screen. This is a screenshot the tool took by default. So, there's nothing we put there, and it gets annotated. Let's remove the screenshot here and do something. What did we want to do? We want to automate the AskUI website, so I already recorded my screenshot here. So that's what we do. This is a screenshot of the whole screen I took before the workshop, and then this screenshot gets routed to the AskUI inference that's running in the cloud. That's basically an AI model or multiple AI models that annotate your screen. In this mentioned screenshot, you get several elements. Thus, this tool is not based on structure like if you use, for example, Playwright or Selenium Cypress. There are basically only visual selectors. What AskUI does is take this screenshot and find elements based on visual cues. For example, if you look at Get Started, this button we might want to click, it says OK here, this bounding box. This purple bounding box is a button, and we also have OCR, and there's a text, Get Started, and normally there should a lot of the elements should be recognized there. So, we also have icons here, it's redo arrow left and other text and more icons and all the icons that get annotated. That's how we call it. It's an annotation and marked by a bounding box we can interact with AskUI Studio. This gives us the probability to basically not only automate a browser like we do here, but also if we go on the desktop, for example, or here that is also browser, we can go to the desktop or somewhere else. We could also automate desktop things. This is based on visual cues, not on the structure of the website here like in this example. Thus, we recognize text as well as buttons, and if we want to automate other things here, that's not possible in the no-code tool. Additional to that, there will be runners you can connect to and install on your system under test or the system you want to automate. So, you can connect these runners here in a tab view, and then you can say, okay, I want to connect to the system. This can be a remote server, your own operating system, an Android phone, or an iPhone, for example. Then you see this here in the live view, and AskUI Studio annotates it ad hoc. You may want to say, okay, I want to click on some button. Now, we want to automate the login. The first thing I want to show is how to interact with this button, and you may think, okay, what are these instructions? In fact, we want to call them steps, and every step has instructions in it. Now, the AskUI Studio No-Code tool is limited to browser-based applications. That's because it's running in the Docker container, and we only have a Chrome browser here. In the future, we will support several browsers as well as technological platforms and operational systems. Like we must open the Chrome browser and then we want to type in something in google.com is not correct. We click on the instruction or step 1, and where we want to go is AskUI because that's what we're seeing here. We must click this, and it says workflow saved. We open the browser, type in www.askui.com and go there. So that's okay. We click enter because if you first open the Chrome browser, then the focus is here. We enter www.askui.com, so that's where we are now. Then we go to the user portal, and what do we want to do there? We add another step here, and basically you have everything you need at your fingertips. You can say type in something, for example, type text in a text field. For example, we don't want to type in something here. We want to click on a text. So, we click on, and then what do we want to do? Do we want to click on a button? We can do this. So, we scroll down a little bit. Is there a button? Yeah, there's a button. In fact, there are 2 buttons. So, we must be a little more specific. Thus, we say with text, get started. By the way, if you have any questions, ask them in the chat. We will answer these questions as soon as possible. What do we want to do? We want to click on the button with the text, get started. That's what we basically want to do. The workflow is saved. Now how do we know that what we want to do? We have these little buttons here. There you see we can delete the instruction or the step. We can move it up, so it goes before the press key enter. You can also move it down. If you look at press key, there should be a move down. But what we want to do now is to simulate a step. So, what you now see is the simulation. You will see a red dot here on the Get Started. So, you see the mouse move there and click there. That's what our workflow will do if we run it in a real environment. Let's do it again. I click Simulate. And then it says Move Mouse and there's a red dot. So that worked. Oh, that's cool. So, we clicked on the button with text, Get Started. Then we want to add another step, and now we cannot click. We cannot add another thing here, so we must remove the screenshot. I take another one. I should have to log out. Let's do it like this here, log in. That should take us to the page. I will take another screenshot. Okay, I just took another screenshot. Let's remove this. I go back to our user portal and put the screenshot there. And this is the next thing we want to automate. Let's see what the AskUI inference says. Okay, the tool has recognized something else. Oh, here's a text field, and here's a text field, and okay, there was the focus. What I want to do is to click the first text field. Now, we may need to use relational selectors to detect the correct test element. So, what I want to do is type into the text field that is below the text, v2.type, text at askui.com in text field. Here's the text field, and we want to say, below text with text. That should be it. Let's see if it works. Thus, let's simulate the command. Okay. The little pop-up indicated that it found the right text field, and then we want to type in a password. I won't put in my password here, so I don't have to change it, but I want to type in type text, 12345, and all. If that's my password, type in text field. So, there's the text field, and this should be password. Let me just write it quickly. For the final step, we want to click the button. Thus, I am going to write on button with text, and this should be continue. Let's simulate this. Okay, it works. Now, the workflow is defined for automated running. Give us a thumbs up if you like this content and want to see more videos on this topic. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to stay in touch with us. Happy testing, and see you next time.